Hey everyone, and welcome back to my channel. Today is a PR unboxing and review of these Azure Beauty Dip Powder Kit. Oh my gosh, this is just so gorgeous. I feel really tongue-tied right now, so I apologize for my horrible grammar to start off with, but I have a string of videos that I need to get out. I have a ton of videos to post, so I'm just like all over the place, right? That's how my mind feels right now. I just feel like I can't get myself organized or stay organized lately, and my brain just feels like mush. I like right now it's actually Thursday and I feel like it's Friday and so on. Yeah, it's just tomorrow's gonna be a really long day at work. But anyway, back to the dip powder kit. So I really love their kits because they always come with everything that you will need to do an entire dip powder set. All the dip liquids, this one happens to have 20 powders, which is quite a bit. And I love how they always organize everything from smallest to largest number-wise. So like that was number 2, this is number 3, 4, 5, so on and so forth. I love that because even if they didn't, I would automatically do that anyway. But you can see that I have done a lot of PR for Azure Beauty in the past, and these are the colors that I have, but I am going to show you a couple things that I also purchased from them, but I love everything that's in the kit, from the brush to all the dip liquids, the activator, things like that. And I will be going through all the steps, so you'll still be able to see, but this is one of the things that I purchased with my own money, which is this cute little kit. And if I were a dip powder kit, this would like be me in a package. I absolutely love the colors. This was only $10 for 6 colors. And unless you're like doing your nails every single day, 4 or 5 times a day, even though these are smaller pots or jars, it's still going to take you quite a while to go through them. So I really loved all the colors in there. And then I also bought the dip powder liquid set off of Amazon. They were, this was $15 when I bought it, so it was on sale. And I figured, sure, why not? Because I do so much PR for them that I might as well, instead of having like a bunch of those little bottles all over the place. I mean, I do save them, but I also am going to be doing a giveaway here soon. And so that is, I keep those and are with the kit. And so I can give like my extras away and things like that. But that was another reason why I got all the swatch sticks out as well, is to compare ones that I had previously to the ones that are in this kit, and make sure that I take out all the duplicates, and then I put the duplicates like back in the kit, and then I'll give the kit away once it's full, and so on and so forth. So yeah, the dip liquid set comes with 4 different things. I love that they include a brush saver, which is number 4. That is like one of my favorite things. So that way, if anything gets chunky or whatever the case may be, all that good stuff, you can put it in the brush saver and it will clean it out. They also always send extra brushes with their kits, along with like nail file and everything else, like literally that you'll need to do this entire set with. It might take you a while to file down some of the bulk with the little file that comes with the kit, but either way, it gets the job done, and they do work really well because I have used them in the past. But I am getting ready to do swatches, so I already got my swatch sticks ready off camera. I always put the stickers on so I know what I'm swatching, and I was trying to open up this base, and the base was actually, the lid was on like really tight. So even though these bottles are plastic, did not affect the quality or anything like that when it came to these dip powders. So I did want to show you guys a couple swatches. The main reason is so that you can see how the powder works, and to also kind of go into detail about my techniques, right? So I enjoy dipping them into, just like you would like your finger, into the dip powder, which is why I have the shorter swatch sticks instead of my stiletto ones, because then it will fit in here, and also you're just not using as much product. Now, sometimes I use the base coat method, like the gel base coat where you have to cure it in the lamp. But lately, I've just been enjoying using the dip liquids, and you can see how fine their powder is and how opaque the colors are just on the swatches. So in the kit earlier, you did see that sheet where it shows you like if you do 1, 2, or 3 colors, it will make the color more opaque and it's not as transparent with each layer that you do. Now you can get away with 1 layer, but your nails may be prone to like breaking. So if you only want like 1 layer of the actual color, then you could always do maybe a couple layers of clear. I would highly recommend doing at least 3 layers of dip powder when you're actually working on your nail, but I only do 2 layers for the swatch, and you will see the colors that I use here in a little bit. But this is the second one that I'm showing you because the first one, I put it in the powder kind of weird. But I also leave it in the powder for like 10 seconds. So that way the powder has a chance to stick to the base coat, or not only stick to it, but to really absorb into the base coat. And then by the time I get through like these first few here, then I have, and I go to the next 6 and so on and so forth. So I just do like 6 at a time, then I can dust them off and go on with the second coat. All the fun stuff. But these colors are really, really, really beautiful. And I've only had 1 duplicate out of all the kits that they have sent me in the past. I've only had 1 that's been duplicate. So that is pretty good. So I can attest that if you purchase their dip powders or any of their kits, you are not going to have a bunch of different powders. You will get a lot of different powders. You're not going to have a lot of duplicates. So I really, really appreciate that about their kits. So now we're getting into the application side of things. I did go ahead and remove all of the gel polish that I had on my nails prior to this. And I did not soak off. These are half cover tips. I felt like they were grown out enough to where I could just fill them in with dip powder, and it actually worked out great because then I didn't have to build an apex. The apex was already there from my grown out nails. And some people might say, I would never do that over Gel X nails, but I'm not some people and I just do things very out of the ordinary. But I also like testing things out and trying things. So this worked out fine for me. And like I said, I didn't have to build an apex or worry about what was going on. And since they're shorter, I can just go in with the base coat over the full nail. And do what I want to do. So this is the first color, that I'm using as the base color. And I have never tried like an ombre. I never really go out of the norm. I haven't tried to do like a French or anything like that with dip powder or a marble. I'll probably, I don't know, maybe next time if I get more PR, maybe I'll try it, or even without PR, just do another dip powder video in general. But I just haven't tried different techniques or work with dip powder enough because I'm more of a polygel girl. But every once in a while, I just really want that click and that clack that you get from acrylic nails. And this is the easiest way to apply acrylic to your nails, where you can manage and control where the product is going to go with the base coat. But I left this part in real time to show you exactly how long I leave my finger in the dip powder. And I only show you the process mostly with my thumbnail because it's just the same process for every single nail. But I did go ahead and go through the other 4 nails, and now I'm just, that gives you time. Basically, I started with my thumb, index, middle, ring, pinky. So now that I'm done with once you get done with your pinky, it's okay to go in and like basically brush off what was on your thumb, and then so on and so forth. So that's just how I personally prefer to do it when I am. It just helps speed up the process a little bit. So that way that base coat it's not completely dry, but it is dry enough to be able to brush it off, and you're not going to get a bunch of little dents or scratches or things like that from the brush when you go to brush it. Then I'm going in with my second coat. Now, I always try to make sure I am as careful as possible. So one of my favorite things about the dip liquids, especially Azure Beauties, is that the base coat does not start drying like immediately. You have time, and please take the time if you want a nice dip powder mani to apply the base coat well. So that way when you dip it, then the powder is going to stick to where you put that base coat. So I don't actually have to do, what you'll see here in a little bit, a ton of cuticle work or a lot of filing because of the way that I apply my dip powder. So yeah, application is, I'm not going to say it's not challenging because it is. And you do have to have a steady hand for the most part. And you definitely want to make sure that you're not getting that base coat on your skin because, like I said, the powder will go wherever you put the base coat, and that is exactly where it's going to stick. However, before you apply activator, that gives you time, right? That gives you time to still clean off. So if you do get something around your cuticles or things like that, the base coat doesn't dry right away. And again, you could just take like a cuticle pusher or whatever you use to clean around your cuticles and kind of scrape it out of there. So that way, when you do apply the activator and you actually want the product to dry and cure together, it doesn't, how do I want to say this? It doesn't dry or stick to your cuticles or your skin. So with all of that being said, now I'm going in with the second color. So I did 2 coats of the purple, and then I wanted to use this really pretty, very gorgeous. This was the only duplicate I had in this kit. So I pulled out my other one that I've already swatched and used of this hollow glitter, and all the glitter was basically on the top. And so on the thumbnail, it actually kind of did like a glitter ombre, and it just looked really, really pretty, and it's really cute. And I was like, that's so awesome. Like, I didn't even have to try to do that. The glitter did that for me because of the way it was sitting in the powder. However, when you do have glitters and things like that, you definitely want to go ahead and give them a little bit of a stir if you want them more even, so that way the glitter is fresh and stirred throughout the powder. So here is something that I did a little against the grain as well. I am not finished with these nails. I am not done with my application. However, you can see I am applying a very, very, very thick amount, or not a thick amount, because this is almost like water. So the activator does have a smell to it. It smells almost like regular nail polish. However, this is what kind of like glues everything, or excuse me, makes the glue dry faster. And then I actually left the activator on for about 4 or 5 minutes before I go in with another layer. So most people put the activator on when they're complete or they're finished with their dip powder, but I knew I wanted to do a layer of clear. So when I filed, I wouldn't file off all of that gorgeous hollow glitter. And so since I am encapsulating it, I activated it before I do the encapsulating layer. It did not interfere with my brush. It didn't make my brush clump up in my base coat, none of that stuff. So I just make sure between each step, after you use the activator, to always let it dry and make sure that everything comes together. And then once again, when I was done with the clear coat over all my nails, I apply another heavy layer of activator over that and give it another 5 to 10 minutes to dry. So that way it has time to seep through, or can seep through down all the way to your nail bed or your enhancement, whatever you have underneath of it. And really, really dry and stay in place. And this is what makes it hard and gives it all of its strength. So, after I'm finished with that, I did go in with my nail drill just because I have it. If you don't have a nail drill, like I said before, that is okay. You don't have to use a nail drill. Here I'm going in with a regular full-size file. I just randomly found this in my file box, so I was like, sure, let's use it. It is not an Azure Beauty file. It did not come with the kit, so I just wanted to put a little disclaimer out there. But I do really like it, and yeah, so I'm just going in the sides. I already went around my cuticles. I make sure that the nails are straight, and that I like that from that aspect. I file over the top if I absolutely need to, but I didn't have a lot of dips or bumps, and every time I do dip powder nails, I just feel like my application is getting better and better. So of course, at this point, I have waited for my activator to dry again. Then when I'm done filing, I'm going to go in with the activator one more time and give that another 5 to 10 minutes to dry. Now, it does not say that in the instructions. You do not have to give it that long to dry, but I do, just to make sure that everything is completely and 100% on there. And I have to give a big shout out to Azure Beauty, because every time I've done a dip powder set using their liquids and their dip powders, like, they have stayed on until I was ready to take them off. I didn't have any lifting. I didn't have anything crazy going on. Like, no greenies, no, none of that. Like, it stays on there. And when I say it is like solid, like these are literally like just acrylic nails that you've applied with monomer, but in a lot fewer and easier steps, honestly, if you ask me, because you don't have to worry about the smell of monomer. And even though the activator does have a pretty strong smell to it, and sometimes once the activator hits the product with the base coat, it does make my eyes burn, but then it goes away. So you can, like, the chemicals do release into the air. These are still, so if you would like, you can definitely wear a mask when you're doing dip powder nails, just like I recommend anytime you file. But then I went in with 2 layers of the Azure Beauty top coat, and it is literally so shiny. I absolutely love it. You're going to see pictures coming up here shortly after I put on my cuticle oil. I get that all nice and rubbed in there, and sometimes I even put it underneath my nail, because if I've been cleaning a lot and my hands have been in water a lot, underneath my nail gets like a little cracked and rough as well. So sometimes I put cuticle oil underneath, but either way, these just turned out so cute. And again, you're going to see snapshots. So thank you so much to Azure Beauty and everyone for being the best part of my channel. And I hope to see you in my next video.